But you're
Ooh, I
gonna
was
hide it.
about to
You're gonna
remind you,
hide it where?
except I forgot.
What's that? What?
I was about to remind you, but I forgot.
Okay, and what did
I think
you
you might have reminded her.
exactly, right? What were you saying, Judy?
I just said where you're gonna hide this one.
Yeah, I'm getting better at that. Yeah, okay. And
No, you're not, because I'm finding it now.
yeah, reverse psychology. Okay. So what I'm just sort of feeling around like, okay, what should we do today? Because as most of you know by now, really, there's really no like syllabus or agenda or even much of a plan. And I'm trusting that when we show up, whatever else needs to show up with us or to help us or expand us, whatever is also showing up in whatever way that does. So therefore, what was coming to mind was just to really do maybe 10 minutes of a silent energy transmission, clearing, more so than a clearing. I mean, yeah, like get out of the way, whatever's in the way, but really more wanting to bring through for everybody the energy, the clarity, the greater communication with whomever you communicate with to take you to your next level. And the next level might be, one more step forward, or it might be, going this way, or it might be a leap. I don't know. That's for you and your peeps to figure out. But I'm sort of like the Energizer bunny coming in, and I'm like, okay, what would you do if you had 4 more batteries in your pack? Where would you go, or how would that open things for you? So so that's my plan, at least for the next 10 minutes, and then we'll see what happens after that. I just want to invite everyone to be in kind of just a meditative space and to really allow yourself to go as deeply quiet and open as you are able to go, or maybe even a little further than you know how to go or have gone before. And let's just see where that takes us. So you can have an intention, if that's up and you want that. I also recommend just leaving it open, right? Allow something that you can't even conceive of to come through, or allow something to come to you that you didn't even know, you were missing, or gee, I could really use that. Linda, what's going on there?
What's on your shirt? Are they sharks?
They're sailfish.
Oh my gosh, they are. Yeah.
Right? Although,
yeah.
For the first year that I had this, I think I called it my pink flamingo shirt because that's what it reminded me of. And then I was like, oh, look, there's a fin.
It's not even flamingo.
Well, here's a thought, Yishay. Here's a thought. Let's use that symbology. And that fish has a big pointer, so it can direct us where we're going to go with a big sail fin.
Nice. I love it.
How about that?
And can pierce the veil.
Like she knew before she knew.
Right? Yeah. I know. It was a very conscious choice to wear this shirt this morning. I mean, yeah. All right, then. So, settle in to yourselves and your spaces, and just remind us that we are the awareness that is aware of having this experience and of having a body and emotions and a human suit. I invite you all to tap in, ironically, on a more visceral level, to the fact that you are a soul, you are consciousness in a body, living through a body. And all right, let's see what we can transform and expand. Okay, take a moment to wrap your moment up. So I have a few things that came through that I will share with you, and maybe for any or all of you, or maybe for somebody who's going to be watching this later, but just some images and I don't know, random things. And then I would love to hear from you. What was your experience? Well, I feel like it was somebody here, just dragged me right out into the middle of the ocean, just out there. But there was like flotsam and jetsam stuff, like just floating away. So whatever like crud was there, we were just out in this vast space, and our stuff floating around and floating away. And then we had a beautiful sunset somewhere, which somehow I felt like that was yours, Linda. A message that to pay attention to what's right behind you. We might think like in linear time, the future, the moment and the future is in front of us, right? But we are interacting with everything around us. And I just had this sense of like, sometimes you just like the thing that you need or the connection that you want is just, like just turn around and see what's there or connect. All the other ways too, but it just really felt like just right behind your back. Then now all of you have had the attunement, so you've probably had the experience of me winding up with some, sphere or something, some sort of like gift or from your own experience. And so that just sort of came up, not in placing it anywhere, but first, Linda, I got a black and gray marbly sort of like swirly, sort of like a bowling ball, the colors of like snowflake obsidian out in front of you.
Or Merlinite.
Or what?
Merlinite.
Merlinite. Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so that, and it just was like floating in front of you and kind of, when you can see the heat waves like above the pavement or something, and it's just little squirrely like that or a little wavy. It was like that. Shannon, there was a blue sphere, and again, sort of like in front of you, it was standing on. I don't think it was real. I mean, I don't know what was real, but I mean, in the sense that the sphere was like real solid, and then it was being held up on just an energetic, just
The fountain. It's
Wow.
one of those fountains that has a ball.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I've been wanting.
That, right.
Yes.
And just, yeah. And kind of like white, shiny, all right.
It's the water that's probably, coming down.
The droplets of water.
Yeah. Judy, pink and white, like rhodochrosite. And I can find pictures I'll show you. It's like kind of a banded, almost lacy pink and white. And it had a lot of legs. It was sort of spider-like, and it was out in front. And to me, it was like all these avenues and all these possibilities and whatever else that means for you. And Lynn, I got sort of a lentil-shaped, orange lentil-shaped thing. I would say the color of an orange tabby cat, and just kind of right out there. So you do with that what you will. And then I remembered one of my teachers says, when you say for the highest and best good of all, you really better include yourself, or it's not for all. So I thought, okay, what's mine? And I got this really deep purple sphere with like a white kind of quartz, like skunk, you know, just like a line going through it. And that just felt, you know, sort of magical and magical. So that's what I came back with. Different times throughout felt like sort of deeper or bigger, you know, of moving energy or calling stuff in for all of us. And I'm curious to know what was going on for any of you through any of that, or from, you know, what I came back with for you.
Well, who wants to go first?
I just want to say, Misha, I love your descriptions. Yeah, it's perfect. You can go ahead.
Oh, well, you were there and rushing around and moving all this stuff out of the way really quickly and rushing and rushing and rushing and cleared off this thing that finally, after it was all cleared off, it was like a hammock, you know, with the intertwined like rope. And then you laid back on it and you had a cigar and you were making clouds with the smoke and saying, calm down, just relax, lay back and enjoy the ride and slow down and enjoy everything. And you were making clouds and telling me to, you know, see what you see in the clouds and take your time type of thing.
Nice.
I thought that was very interesting because that, you know, while you were smoking the cigar, I was like, what is she doing?
That's what I was wondering. I like the, you know, the hammock. Yeah, I see.
You're like, I don't smoke cigars.
Hey, I was making clouds. What better way to
Exactly.
do it? Okay, I
Yeah.
love it. Who next?
Well, I'm happy to go. And I actually do have this lovely little piece of merlinite that I found after you told me. It's gray and black.
Yes.
And if you polish it, it's spectacular.
Yes.
And it is a stone for magic, right? So
How
fun.
Yes.
how
Hold that up
fun
one more time.
it is.
Where
Like
do you
this,
find something like that?
from a
On Linda's desk.
crystal and gem person, and I have some good friends who who
Nice.
do that. Yeah.
And that actually
Yes.
looks more like what I saw than, you know, snowflake obsidian is mostly black with like little specks of gray. And that perfect. Okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So, you know, I love your energy work, Nisha, because I love energy you can feel. And so right away, like the second you started, you know, I could feel it in my head, and it was like this side was big and expansive, and this side was more condensed. And I've been like hugely creative recently, so it's brought all of that into balance. And towards the end, it was really cool because there were really specific places in the crown chakra that had like little like lightning bolts or little electric shocks, like not painful, but just
Mhm.
like zap, like tasered or something, right? And it
Wow.
was just so, and that went on for quite a while. It was really interesting. So for me, it was mostly uh, in the head, which was perfectly fine,
Mhm.
perfectly fine.
Great.
And when you mentioned about the what you needed was behind you, to me, that could mean that uh, those who are supporting behind us, you know, like they've got your back, you know, like you said, someone came in right away,
Oh,
they've got your back,
Great.
right? Right.
that makes sense for me
Yeah.
because mine was like, now that you said that, now I know that that's what it was. Um, everybody knew, I guess, that I needed what I really need is what's the time out from all the bullshit going on in the world
Mhm.
and tear myself away from it. You know, don't keep looking at the TV, you know, stop looking at the TV, you know, stop looking at the phone. And I'm getting better at it, but I really need a rest from it. And what happened with me is like, now I don't visualize the white light above me or anything. What I've what has been comfortable for me to do the last few years is I just either the trees or the mountains,
Mhm.
wherever it comes closest to me. Whenever I just kind of fade into the auras,
Mhm.
and that way it just washes over me. And and everybody was, and that's all I felt was just a bunch of beings, a bunch of energies, a bunch of souls, whatever, just refreshing me, just pouring love all over me. And the only thing, I got a message in there somewhere, and it's kind of opposite of what you said, Miche. And it's something for me, it's something I'm supposed to remember is consciousness is the only thing. There is no time, there never was time, and there never will be time.
Mhm.
So that's the message that I got, that I brought back with me. But while they were just, because I can get sucked up into the auras of the mountains in a heartbeat. You know, I just that's where it is for me. I just connect with that white light there.
Mhm. Great. Thank
Your
you.
stone is a stone of love, by the way. It's like, it's one of the heart stones, like a rose quartz. It's a beautiful pink stone. It's
Oh, I have
gorgeous.
a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
nice.
I'll send you pictures of the rhodochrosite. Yeah. Lynn.
And
It's
very
interesting that
calming.
she mentioned that stone and you didn't know what it was, but then you were talking about needing love. That's so cool. And then it happens to be,
Right.
it all makes sense.
It
Mhm.
does, isn't it neat?
Yes.
And Lynn's got a lentil. Yeah.
And okay, it was a mineral. I mean, it was some kind of crystal, but it was, not a sphere.
Oh,
So
come on. Okay. Maybe carnelian or
Yeah, it was Jasper.
jasper.
It was Jasper. It was my orange Jasper because it's been, I have a connection to Jasper because it's always been healing, healing, soothing. And I've been looking, we rock hunt, and I've been
Oh,
watching this one particular sort of bean shaped orange Jasper that I've been looking at. And I went out yesterday and actually pulled it from the water, and
ah,
I think that's probably why
would
that's
you
the
show?
mineral that came
You
to me.
walk over there and
I can.
Good.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Probably easier to bring you here
That's what I'm thinking. Carry the
rather
item.
than to bring it, 'cause
Jasper
it's
4.
what?
Oh, it's another huge healer. And there's all kinds of jasper too.
Mhm.
Really?
Okay. I don't know if you're going to be able to
Beautiful
see
stone.
of it yet, but
Wow.
it is. Oh, come on, camera. Okay. It's a giant,
oh, wow.
and it's got.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about that big.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. It weighed. I don't know. Probably weighs. I don't know.
Can
20
you
pounds
put
or
your
so.
hand on it? Just
Can I what?
put your hand on it as a.
So to give a reference.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I wish it was a wet so you guys could see it. It's beautiful that way. But
Oh,
It's
wow.
huge. Yeah.
that
Huge.
stupid camera. How do I turn the camera around in this view? Is there oh look. Switch camera.
Okay,
Better.
there you go. Perfect.
There's my
Wow.
big Jasper.
That is
And
amazing.
it was in the water. And in the water it was bright, bright orange. And I've been watching it for, I don't know, a month now, 4 or
Uh-huh.
5 weeks, waiting for the water to go down enough so that
That
it
is
could come
so
home with me.
fascinating. Wow.
It's really cool.
And you just found that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. In the water.
You are a lucky lady.
Oh my
Do you
God.
guys know about rocks?
No.
We know some.
Well, I got a bunch of them. What's a rock that's like super heavy? It's like
All of them. Yeah.
no, no, no. I've got little
think they are.
little pieces, and they're really, 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 really heavy.
Well, some are definitely.
And I've got this.
Specific gravity being different for, yeah.
When I was a kid, we found these rocks that we call them lava rocks. They look like glass, and they're big rocks, and they're kind of translucent and greenish. You know, they
What
look
is
like
that? I've got
glass.
one.
You've seen that, right?
Well, I've got one in my backyard.
Right?
I rehomed it from somebody who got evicted.
Do you know what that is? I
No.
remember seeing it somewhere, and it's like a comet or something. Or
I know.
Sounds
I
like
know.
can't
I got it
remember.
about 10 or 12 years ago, and nobody knows what it is, and it's like green. I mean, it's
Yes, it's like green, like beer bottle green or something. You know,
a
it's like
little bit
dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a wine bottle or something.
moldavite. Moldavite.
What is it?
Okay, how big is it? Because if it's multivite and it's how big is it? Okay,
Yeah.
That
that's
might
worth
be the
like
money
$1
you need to
billion.
move.
If it's
That might be
multivite,
the
because
money you
that's-
need to move.
That might
Right?
be.
Moldavites.
That's the
Actually,
Little.
I might have waited too long, but I've got an antique, really antique, hand sewn Confederate flag that I need to get rid of.
Yeah.
I was gonna burn it. And I thought, wait a minute, this might be a couple of bucks here.
Right, yeah. But
a little closer to your bazillion, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
back in here.
Especially with that rock.
And yeah.
I'll have to
So
chip a piece off.
and, you know, if you want to post pictures of your rocks in the group, you know, I know Linda, you know a bunch about different ones. I'm actually a gemologist, although I mostly don't know about rocks. I know about, you know, emeralds
Diamonds.
instead of moldavite. But anyway,
Maybe it's an emerald. Yeah.
there you go.
You're rich.
Hey, listen, that's not so funny.
I know.
Where I live, and there's not too much of them around here, but if you go like into North Carolina where it goes over the top of Georgia, in that area, you go around, and like here where I'm at, you find there's gold everywhere. Okay, so but if you go a little bit further northwest, toward right in the corner, people go, and I'll tell you what, you'll get shot if you go on if you find somebody's spot. You can pick up, there's rubies and sapphires there.
Cool.
I met a woman one day, she came to a yard sale I had, and we just got to talking, and it was like we knew each other forever. So anyway, she said goodbye. She was going to come back in a few minutes, and so she went home, and she got me a little jar, a little vial, and it has rubies and sapphires in it. She says, "Here, I want you to have this," because my birthstone's a ruby. So she was like, "Here, happy birthday." You know, it's like, "Oh my God, this is so cool."
Nice.
And you know, you think of things like that, and you don't really know where do they come from. I never thought about that. She told me, "Yeah, they're all over the place." Whoa.
Right? It's like you found that in the water.
Yeah. You know.
So cool. Well, who knows? You may be itching to move and wanting that money so bad because the spirits are telling you you already have it.
Well, I don't want to get rid. I can't get rid of those. They're just little pieces in a jar kind of a thing, but it's just way cool.
Lynn, I want to go back to you and your lentil and your experience. If there's anything else you want to share about it.
Okay. Not necessarily, you know, the lentil part of it. Yeah, because I think that has to do with a lot of what's going on with like with the sadness that I'm like sitting in, and the need for healing. So, you know, but the process itself, I want one of these times, I want you to do the snow globe. I don't think I've done that with you with this particular group, but that's where I went. And I was like that particular visualization or journey or whatever, but I found that I wanted to be like interactive with what you were doing, because I could feel, you know, you around, and I could feel the energy around me, and I ended up like up in space, and there were, you know, there were just what I assume were stars, but were that, you know, the little light flashes that I think Linda, you saw. But in the snow globe one, or just like that, you were like on the outside of my, you know, of my sphere. And I was on the inside, and it's like I was cleaning away on the inside because I wanted to help, and you were cleaning away on the outside until the glass that was between, you know, my space and the big space was like so clean and so clear that it just sort of became nothing, and then I was just part of the big, and it was kind of amazing. So I don't know what to take away from that, other than I really wanted to be interactive, and it's really cool when you can become the big. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Right. I love that, because I do. I mean, in the snow globe, there's a sphere, and in the attunements that I do, there's like a big sphere, and yet I know, and I try to convey that even though there's like a barrier, a something, there's nothing. You know, I mean, you can put your hand through it or whatever, and it's just sort of an energetic space that you get to keep clear with just you. Like, makes sense that I was not in your sphere, because like to me the sphere is,
You want to say sphere now too, huh?
You know, sort of sacred, just you. What? But
you want to say sphere
She's
now
in your
too,
head.
huh?
severe, the circle, the dome, right? And yet it doesn't keep us from anything. Just maybe an illusion sometimes that there's a barrier, right? Yeah, I had actually a moment that reminds me where I had my hands out and felt a lot of energy, and then I felt like we were in a circle and we were all holding hands and just raising the energy together, and that was pretty cool.
Cool.
So
When you said that, it reminded me, there was a moment where it was like I didn't see, but I knew all of us were there, and you kept doing this, and then all of this stuff from our chests were rising up. It was
yeah,
rising. And so that's funny that you mentioned that.
yeah,
I
and
felt
did.
that too. I felt all of us together.
Right?
Yeah, I felt all of our energy in one spot. Yeah.
Mhm. Right. And I mean, I try to stay out of my head and not get too like, oh, this is happening, or I'm seeing that and I'm doing that. And definitely there's times where I just feel, I don't know, nudged or compelled almost to do something, right? And there was definitely a time where I was like, there was a
With
really,
that. Yeah. It's like, up.
yeah, raising it. So very cool. Very cool.
BJ,
Yes.
there was when I was in my thing, I felt my arms wanting to go up, and it's like, and I jumped off where I was, and I said, "Put your arms down." You know, I focused on my arms. You were pulling my arms up,
Apparently I was.
and I made the conscious decision. You know, leave your arms alone.
And see, we all kind of had a similar, like, raising the roof.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's cool.
Very cool. So it'll be just
It is.
fun, interesting to see maybe what shifts, what's different for you in the days to come. You know, something new or something catches your thought or your eye or something. Yeah.
I know that whenever I meet with you with the clearings or healings, I always get so much clear information after. So I'm excited.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Can I say one more thing?
At least.
I've been looking for healing, not for me, but for our little dog who's getting older and he's having some problems. And tie that into the fact that when we just did that visualization, I wanted to be interactive. I wanted to, you know, it's like it's heartbreaking when there's nothing you can do. So the fact that the Jasper came into our house yesterday, and the fact that there really needs to be some healing going on. So that's kind of cool. because
It's like
you know,
you
maybe
found it.
there's a little bit of something, you know,
Yeah.
that we can do.
Yeah.
The universe gave it to you to bring to the house to heal.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Good.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And I mean, it occurred to me, we have a couple of minutes if people are open, for this, and other times, if there's somebody or something for ourselves that we maybe want some healing and really get like some, a really boost for that, for our well-being, let's bring it and let's pull it together as a group and see what we can move, right? Um, Linda, you've been in like Lynn McTaggart's groups where she's has people together and intentions. So, if you're open to it, our dog Trouble, who probably is sitting right next to you, um, the best we can figure is she might be having dementia, and she's this like totally loving, happy-go-lucky, like will run up to you and like rub her head on your chest, except in these moments where you go to pet her and she turns on you, like doesn't bite, but like vicious,
She did it
She
a few
doesn't know who
minutes
you
ago
are.
in the,
like get away from me.
yeah,
And so,
Poor baby.
right.
if we could just take a minute or two and just maybe hold a vision of her as the playful, delightful, loves to be cuddled and greet people, and move away from this other version that is kind of happening, and just hold that for a moment.
That's I think more fear-based. I think
Her
that's
reaction, she gets
where
startled.
her reaction is
It's
coming
like
from. So if you guys could send anything,
Yeah.
soothing and
The power of prayer works, and this is the
Mhm.
same thing. So it's just a different word.
Yeah.
So we can put it all together and do it.
Right.
Okay,
It's just like
little
you can
Miss
see almost
Trouble.
like she goes vacant, and like she doesn't, I mean, that's why it sort of feels like dementia, like she doesn't know maybe where she is or who she's with. And anyway, so if we can just hold her up a little bit and see if we can help her stay on her healthy track. And it only takes a moment.
Linda, can I ask you, was there just a Lynn McTaggart thing I missed? I signed up for it, missed it. I'm like, in the last couple of days.
I actually don't know, but
Oh, okay.
she does Power of 8 groups where if 8 people hold the same intention, they have incredible results.
Yeah, I just totally signed up for it and then saw it the
Yeah.
next day. It was
You
like,
can't,
oh,
it just can't do everything that's out there. I know.
yeah. That's why I sign up for everything, because I never make any of it.
All right. And
Well, you'll have more time if you stop watching the news, right?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Judy? Yeah.
Listen, I'll
And
tell
I
you
don't
what.
mean, that's not facetious. I mean that,
Yeah.
like, that's what I was hearing.
Well,
You
see, the thing of it is I don't watch the news. I mean, the TV is always on for background, and the dog watches it sometimes. But I don't watch news at all. I haven't watched news in a year,
right.
and it still makes its way through.
Sure.
Yeah,
well, you might want to choose a different background noise, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like so many things you
Yeah.
sign up for, just don't even think you have to sit there for it. Just turn them on and then go about your business, and
Yeah.
send that vibe into your house instead of
Ooh.
mainstream TV.
Yeah, I've been most of the time last year. I guess spending a lot of time just watching Turner Classic Movies.
Uh-huh.
I'm catching up on all the movies I never saw.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, so we did it. I don't know what all we did, but we did it. And thank you again for being part of this and showing up. And, if there are people that that you think would benefit or would bring something that, more to our community, please invite them or have them contact me. Now that I'm doing this 8 times, and I gotta say, like twice a week is a big difference from 3 times in a month. I was like, oh, is that happening again? But it's cool, and I think I'm gonna fly. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna be like, woo, with 8 of them. So I'm charging $22 now for new people coming in, and Yeah.
This is
With
a
every
great
penny.
deal. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Thank you.
I would still sign up today, even if I didn't have the, you
Uh,
know,
yeah,
new, the old rate. I can't think.
yeah. It feels good, and I'm looking to get a bunch of people, so that we have a bigger, stronger community, so that I'm bringing in more money while I'm giving out more. And also a plug, not to, because we're not about competition. Linda has an amazing subscription group going on too that I'm a part of, and already like transforming. And that's where I got the $22 from, because I like yours so much.
Ah,
You want to
smart.
say a couple?
Well, I tell everybody about healing, energy healing, because it's worked for me. And I know that word of mouth and people following their instincts does work. So
Yeah, so
thank you for that.
A couple sentences
Pardon?
about what you got going for people who
Oh,
are watching it later.
sure. Because I like magic so much and alchemy, that's exactly what this group is. It's called Alchemy from the Inside Out. We take an inner journey that how would I say it? You communicate with your unconscious mind and you make shifts in it when you're doing it. I do something called living water healings, where I restructure your water for you and it works on the replay and you can taste the difference as a supportive benefit for the journey. Then we do a belief change, which is like totally gave me goosebumps. With this week we did, or last week we did, that we released the belief that change is hard for me, and we installed a new belief. So we pulled out the old one, then installed a new one. And then there will be periodic energy alignments and attunements. And the first one came, I was like half asleep and it came. And I was so excited that like I didn't get the whole attunement. So they have to come back and give it to me. Oh my God. But it's so much fun and it's so transformational. It's just wonky. I
Yeah,
mean, it's my favorite work to do. And
I
yeah,
was
go
on
ahead.
changing the belief that change is hard, and that was just like 2 days ago. And I feel like my life and my presentation of myself is already different in the world. So Linda is a master.
And that's like that's the first one. Can you
Right.
imagine, Misha?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
right. So actually, post a link to maybe your group, not the subscription group, but you have a group still happening
Oh
where people
yeah.
could connect with you,
I'm
and
a part of that. Yeah.
yeah, and then post
Yeah.
the information to your subscription thing too, so other people can see it and find it, because we all get pulled and drawn to what we need to when we need to. So, but we got to show up so that people can be drawn to it. Thank you, everybody.
Well, thank you for allowing me to share
Absolutely.
that magic with people, Misha.
Yeah. All right. Any last comments, questions, anything before we close up today?
Just
All right.
thank you.
Thank you. It's
In there.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Yeah.
See you next
Loving it.
week.
Keep Miss Trouble. Keep Miss Trouble in
And your thoughts and prayers.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
I can tell you very quickly when you first asked and you guys were talking, I saw this golden bubble that trouble was inside. And as you're talking and talking, and then when there was that quiet, that golden bubble went to her frontal cortex. And I was going to bring both you Lynn, and Misha in because sometimes our perceptions lock circumstances into place unless we can make changes as well. It's almost like an enabling thing, but not like that. But it's like a three-way creation. But I didn't get the chance to do that. But that's something you guys could do.
Yeah, definitely. And it's something I've been aware of us not holding the image of what's wrong with her, and yeah, just solidifying that.
We all have bad days. Yeah. And I know that the things that I worry about and fear about, I create.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and it's hard not to worry about things that are important, but the more you worry about it, the more you're bringing what you are fearing. And so it's like trying to let it go, and just let it be. It is what it is, right?
See your dog as being completely healed, and
Exactly.
you know, and then it creates it. You know,
Yeah.
Yes.
you know how, you know.
Yeah. It doesn't feel so much like a fear
Oh,
as it is just a sadness that you know, that things change, you know.
maybe the dog's
And
sad, and you're
I
picking up on her energy.
I think the dog is fearful. I think when these episodes happen, you know, she gets confused and you know.
Right. And
So,
they
you
arose,
know,
they
letting it be for all of us would probably be a really good thing,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
because things change, and
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
And you would have it no other way because you wouldn't want to have the same thing all the time forever.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
Right.
If it's always good, then is it good if you have nothing to compare it to?
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Exactly.
All
Thank
right,
you,
people,
everybody.
off I go. Thank
care.
you again, Miche.
All right.
Bye, Lynn.
Bye.
Bye, Julie.
Bye. We'll
Bye.
see you
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
in
Linda.
a couple of days.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, Miche.